All right. So I first want to go over not even just crypto, but stocks. I think are you ready right now?
Yeah, I'm listening. Yeah, go for it.
Okay. So I mean if we look at stock markets, I mean they're just like going crazy, dude. Like if you see this, it's like it looks like it needs a correction. And I will say that I mean, wow, bro. Like you were really better off in holding stocks rather than crypto if you didn't take profits for the past year or two. And I think that that's what puts me in a bullish sentiment because I think that a lot of these need a correction. And I don't think that 2025, at least for all of it, is super bullish because crypto is somewhat tied into the stock market, and I think for Bitcoin as well. These are signs of like a recession may happen. I know we've been crying that for years, saying, "Oh, like we may have a recession," blah blah blah. But I think that just due to the analytics and the charts, like it looks like it just all of this needs to correct, in my opinion. And I think short term, like no matter who wins presidency, I think that we'll dump just not no crazy like 50K or anything, but I don't think that it's bullish for this week. But I think we will recover. Now for Bitcoin in general, we kind of had a nice little move up today, um, so that was pretty good. From this week, we did have a drawdown, a retrace from 73,000 to all the way down to 66,000, which was pretty annoying for a lot of investors. My portfolio is doing pretty well. As you can see on the right side, everything's pretty much pumping a little bit, especially Nakamoto, which is pretty good. But despite that, um, I mean, it just all in all, I think for the alt season, I don't think that I was considering what you were saying on the phone the other day, Harris. That I don't think that any of the 30 or 40 X's are in the books. I don't think that's happening this cycle. If you compare the volume to last cycle, they had way more money, way more volume, way much more volume. Despite even the ETF flows, like a lot of people can argue, well, ETF money is here. It's like, well, yeah, that's for ETF and Bitcoin. That's not for altcoins. Like nobody from Fidelity or BlackRock is going to be buying altcoins from when they take profits from Bitcoin, right? So it's like, which is why I kind of think that there is some kind of Bitcoin dominance thing going on where it's like alts may not do a lot of what we expect because it's just Bitcoin that just overrules the whole market. Last cycle, they had Trump in office. A lot of people had more money. They had stimulus checks. They had black swan events that pumped the market even higher. There were so much bullish events that took place where it's like we don't really have that this cycle. It's the only thing is that we have the ETFs. This is just me talking on like not PA, right? This is just like exterior facts and things that I'm observing that I think that we won't. I just don't believe that this is a super cycle. Do I want it to be? Yes, of course, but I can't see it happening or playing out. Um, I think that we'll have a mini alt season. Maybe in Q1 and around January, February, and then that'll be time to get out. And who knows if we dip down in mid 2025, buy back in, or go to a different market, I guess. But there is an argument where it's like, well, you don't know if the cycles have changed since the 4 year cycle has changed since last cycle because they had COVID, right? So it kind of like not messed things up, but it kind of interfered with how it played out, right? We had a double top last cycle because of COVID, and we had Trump in office, so that was like way different from the cycle. So it's like when people say, "Oh, well, it's gonna be late 2025, we peak like last cycle," it's like I can't really agree with that because we didn't have any of the same situations happen from last cycle to this cycle. You know what I mean? Which is like now you can't argue. Let's say hypothetically Kamala wins, she starts a war. This is just hypothetically. War is good for Bitcoin long term, not short term. So I think that if Kamala were to win presidency, then we see maybe late 2025 we moon again. I'll be out of the market by then. But I think if Trump is in office, then I think we still see a good run, but Bitcoin will be more healthy, I guess you can say. Less pullbacks, less war rumors, because Trump doesn't like it. So it's like there's a lot of different situations that can happen, but for the most part, it's like that's where I stand. I don't think that the 30x's and 40x's are in the books anymore. I think I became more conservative in saying the most that we can do is like a 10x on our alts. I want us to be like doing the 20 and 30x's, but I just from where I stand, I don't really see it this cycle. So I don't know
Yeah,
what
I
if
mean,
you had.
yeah, it depends on the market cap too. But if you're saying like 20, 30 x's all across the board for like all these alts, probably not.
Right.
uh, Isolated, could be. Depends on who has the momentum or what's the narrative.
Yeah. It just I mean there was I was leaning towards this is a super cycle. We have ETF money. I think short term it was good that we had the ETFs, which we pumped. We pumped before the halving, which never happened, which is why I believe that the cycle is different. I used to think like, well, no, that was my mindset was, well, it's still the same cycle. None of the fundamentals have changed. It's only that we have ETFs, which made it pump early, which will have a super cycle. But it doesn't really make sense because it's like why did our altcoins run? You know what I mean? It's like we had our first run. That was kind of our chance to get out and dip and then buy back in on the dip. Because I think we still see it. We still have an alt season. Like like look at the right side of my screen. Let me move my face cam. Altcoins are still reacting well to a Bitcoin move up. So I still think that we do have an alt season in the books, just not as much on the upside as people think. Like I don't think that this is a super meme cycle. I don't think that we're gonna be seeing, like I keep saying the 30, 40x's like people say. So it's like you get what you get and you take it and run and buy back in or you go to a different market. That's my standpoint.
Yeah, you definitely, definitely. I mean, I feel you on that as far as get what you get what the market gives you. Um, I'm definitely happy with under 30x, that's for sure. Um,
Yeah.
so, of course, I want as much as possible, but I'm
Right.
not gonna burden myself and be unhappy with like a 10x or whatever play.
Right.
But we'll just have to see. I mean, I do feel once Bitcoin does its next leg, like from example, it ran from like 15 grand in November
Right.
2022 to about a year. Um, yeah, about a year and a couple months to all time highs again, 70K or so. And that's when all these alts did run 10, 20x's. So the
Right.
next leg up from this point on, about 70K to all time high, if we are going to get that 100K plus Bitcoin, that'll be the next um, leg, similar to that 15K to 70K. And we'll probably still get
Right.
additional 10 to 20x's and 30x's on good alts.
Right.
But to say 30 to 40x's on like every alt, I don't think they're all going to catch a bid. I don't think.
Right. Yeah, I can agree with that. Just like exterior factors that last cycle was like there was just so much money um going around in the world because Trump was in office. That was the best economic state or one of the best economic states that we've had. So of
Oh, that
course that
COVID?
market was yeah, yeah, during
Oh,
COVID.
that was Biden's term.
Oh yeah, 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 my bad, my bad. I'm saying I meant Trump was in office. The but yeah, you're right. That was you're right. Um so when Trump was in what is 2017, correct?
Yeah.
That was like the start of the it was crazy because it was the start of the cycle of last cycle and I think people fed alt even more than what they did now. Especially since a lot of people got wrecked last cycle too. So like not a lot of people have that buying power that they do, and they're still in loss. So it, I mean, it just, I mean, you got to think some people who didn't sell last cycle, they're probably going to sell even earlier now, which is a lot of people, and I think that that'll bring the market down to a certain extent where it's not as powerful as we think it is because people are still trying to get revenge, and if sometimes they may have big positions. Um, but I just don't see. I mean, I just like you said. I think Bitcoin can do most like 115K, or let's say I say that because I'm semi bearish on just the move up on how high it can go. Let's say Bitcoin can do 120K or 130K. But I still don't think that will make alts go to the moon. You know what I mean? I think that Bitcoin will just have a higher dominance this entire market and maybe not outperform all alts, but just have that huge dominance where it's like alts didn't move that much, but Bitcoin did because this was Bitcoin cycle. Like I believe last cycle was all about altcoins, and now yeah, you can consider altcoins obviously, but I think with the ETF and all of this, it's like it's mainly focused on Bitcoin this cycle, which is why there's so much more volatility on Bitcoin this cycle as well.
Well, I do believe it's gonna be more of a like memes. I think people are gonna go to like Bitcoin and then from there like straight into memes. I'm not too sure if they're gonna go like to alts and then memes. Like you know how I guess people explain the cycles like Bitcoin and then they buy Ethereum and then they get more speculative and then they buy like top 10 alts and then they buy the top 100 alts. You know what I
Right.
mean? And then they just kind of get more speculative as the bull run goes and more greedy as the bull run goes. I feel like they're gonna go straight from Bitcoin straight to memes or just straight to memes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that could be nobody knows about like the normie isn't gonna buy into Tectum or like AGI. They don't know what it is. Like I can shill it all I
yeah,
want, and maybe they can consider it, but like they're gonna buy the dog with the hat. So it's like,
you're right.
that I did my very first crypto buy. I bought what was that? It was Shiba because I think
Mm,
somebody hit like a 300x on it or something, and I was like, oh, I want to do
yeah,
that, and I'm gonna buy it, and that's exactly what I did. So yeah, like you said,
it's
I
gonna be
think
that
that
advertising factor.
yeah, and some people don't even take it serious. They're just like, oh, I'll just chunk in 100, $200 in there, just see what it does. Like it's just a little meme. So I mean, why not? I do agree. Um, so it's like, I mean, I said that I don't think it would be a super meme coin cycle, but maybe it could, and it just outperforms all utility. Like that's a situation that could happen, and it it would suck if it would because I'm all utility, oh, except for one. But um, yeah, it just I'm not really too bullish on 2025. I think Q1, we top out and then crash. We just start going down, slowly. Now, what thing is, it's like two things. Uh, what is your opinion on Ethereum underperforming while Bitcoin is on top? Do you think it's dead? Do you think that that it's just FUD and it's gonna do its thing during the alt season? What are your thoughts on that?
I feel Ethereum's been doing pretty much how it normally does. It's always after Bitcoin. It's an altcoin after all. Um,
Right.
like I watched the ETH BTC and it's still going down. And I think you've reposted or interacted with some charts with ETH BTC, and you
Mm-hmm.
know everyone is tired that it's just going down. But
Yeah.
that's just kind of how it goes. Bitcoin's first. Bitcoin's the only real like use case coin. I mean Ethereum as well
Right.
though, so that's why I think it'll still stay here. I think it'll still make all time highs. I do.
Right. Um. Wow. This was when? from October, which was almost a 14% move down. Right now, it's still down about 11% since October. I think this is when we hit. Uh, yeah, it was towards the end of the a month of October. So, um, I mean, it's been in this range for a while, like right here
Yeah,
and
it's making
down
higher
here.
lows
So,
though, if you see that.
yeah,
So chart wise, if we take our biases aside and it's just pure data, then it is going higher lows.
right. Um,
I mean, higher lows as well as lower highs, but it's like compressing. So
yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm not too fond of Ethereum. I think it'll still have its move up. I don't think that it's just in my opinion, it's impossible for it to be the most second popular crypto in crypto history and then it just never perform at all. So I think obviously Ethereum will perform. Oh my gosh, what is this candle? I think it'll perform. I don't know about an all-time high than last cycle. But you know, who knows? Maybe it can. All-time high was it on there? Oh, okay.
yeah, like
Yeah, some people are saying
48.83 or
10,
something
yeah,
close.
like probably 9K. I mean, I think maybe 5K, 6K maybe, just a prediction. Um, yeah, I don't know. I think it'll do fine. I just don't think that it'll melt faces like how people think that it will. Um, so yeah, and just off of some politics, I think Trump is everyone is favored in Trump and everyone wants him to win. I think that it might not happen. I think Kamala will win.
You think
That's
so?
just I mean, a lot of people are saying that it's like, dude, it's not even close that the votes are like Trump votes are higher than Kamala's. Like it doesn't even compare. But then people are still like, yeah, but I think that they'll still rig it and have Kamala win. Which I'm like, well, you never know. Like there were rumors about previous elections that they were rigged and some votes didn't count or like some fishy things went on and it's like, who knows? You know what I mean? Like I want me personally me personally I want Trump to win, but I think Kamala's gonna win, which is crazy.
All right. Well, so hopefully we'll find out today, because I guess they
Hmm.
should bring out the results today. Today is November 5th,
Right.
election day. So we'll
Hmm.
see. I think we'll have Trump win, but I mean, whatever president we get is what we get. Yeah, I
Yeah.
also think it won't matter. I
Right.
think Trump, you'll probably have more price action, but even if Kamala wins, we should still have our bull run. So
Yeah.
either way, um, that's something I cannot control. So I'm not really putting too much energy on that. Um, yeah, we'll just
Yeah,
have to
there's a lot
see.
of people are basically saying like, Bitcoin doesn't care who's in office. You know what I mean? Like it's gonna perform what it does. Like ETFs, people are still BlackRock, they're still gonna be buying. Like
Yeah,
the market is still gonna do its thing. Like you said, I just think that it will be better if Trump wins because it'll be more money for
more greed.
in people's pocket. Yeah, and that'll probably drive the price up. But I it just doesn't make sense for Kamala wins like everything dumps to zero. Like it's just a fallacy. I don't um so I think November, December we probably come close to 90K, maybe 100, maybe. I mean November pumps are very aggressive. Like sometimes they went up 50% in November. Do I see that now? Not really, but you can get an idea that November is a very aggressive month for Bitcoin and crypto. So, I mean, if we do something like a 30%, then it's like, wow, bro, that's gonna be crazy. But
Hmm.
you can argue, well, like previous Novembers, it was a lower market cap, a lower price, so that's why it moved so aggressively. and we're damn near at the top, so it probably won't do nothing crazy, which I can understand. Um, but last October or this October, we ran up and
Yeah, we did have
all the way to
a bullish month after all.
yeah, we did. It was kind of looking shaky at first, and we came up on top. Yeah, we had a dump right after retrace, but we moved up to 70K again today in November, and it's the 5th. It's election day, so you know I I am bullish on what it can do, but I'm bearish on how much money people are expecting back. I think that's the best way I can put it.
Yeah, no, I get you. I get you. You got to be more realistic with the taking profits.
Right. And also Lil Tahan, I follow him on TikTok. He goes live every day. He was basically saying like, yeah, you can definitely 50x your portfolio, but you shouldn't wait on it. I said, well, what do you mean? He said, dude, if you get a 10x on your portfolio this cycle and you cash out in January, you can make money by shorting the market and using leverage. Obviously that's very risky, but if you short the market, you can still do another like a 2x, and that'll be like a 20x on your portfolio, or you can do like a
Mm.
3x and that'll be a 30x, because you've already 10 extra portfolio and then you do another 3x from there by shorting the market. As you said previously, we'll be able to see where we stand. I can't say, oh, we crashed mid 2025. We can only see the closer we get to mid 2025. So it's like, let's say if we take the 10x off of the table, and from there we look at it and we're like, like if it looks like this, we're probably like, yeah, it kind of needs a retrace, where we see something like this is how we look right here, and then we come down like this, right, and then we shoot even higher. We'll be able to short on in this time frame right here, short the market, and then have positions buy back in and let it run up if it goes back up late 2025. There's a lot of situations that can happen, but that's just a something that I'm looking at right now.
Yeah, I'll
So
definitely be
yeah,
doing it for sure. Shorting when the time comes. Right now, yeah, definitely will be on my radar when the time comes
right,
for that bridge to walk over.
yeah,
They say the good traders could short, make money on losing or like the market going up or down. So,
right,
a lot of people talk about buying the dip, but they never say short the market. So, if you
right.
could do that, then you're in a entirely different class of a investor or speculator.
Right, being bearish at sometimes isn't too bad all the time, dude. Like you can't just be like moon, moon, moon all the time. Like if we're at 120K Bitcoin, it's like people are gonna be screaming 150K, 200K, and it's gonna be on the news and everything. And I'm probably gonna be looking like it's probably best that you short from here.
Yeah,
Not
that's
a
tough.
huge position, but like consider it. And it may be the top. You see, usually if it's on the news and people you don't know that are talking about crypto, is like, dude, yeah, it's probably time to get out.
Right.
Um,
Everything
so,
is orchestrated, man. It's on the news for a reason. They want you to
yep,
feel a certain way. There was a video, I saved it. I guess I'll show you when I get a chance. But
yeah,
basically, it's Kramer. Uh, if you're a crypto investor, you probably know who Jim Kramer is, or even stock
hmm
investors. He's notoriously known for being wrong on purpose.
yeah,
Being paid actor to basically buy up your bags, Wall Street to counter trade you. So at
hmm
15K Bitcoin, he's like, I didn't go to college to get dumber. Why would you ever buy this? And that was the exact
right,
bottom. You saw it.
yeah. I saw that.
So
I think yesterday or today.
always think whenever someone in a big figure tells you something, you always have to ask what's their intention. So his
Right.
intention was obviously for you to sell, capitulate, whereas you should be doing the opposite. That was the exact bottom. So there will be in
Yeah.
reverse, like you mentioned, the opposite. Like they're gonna say, "Wow, Bitcoin's amazing. Crypto, this, millionaires here and there. Sell your house for crypto." All these
Right,
crazy things in reverse, and that's basically the top. So,
right.
but yeah, once we get there, but yeah, that's something to keep in the back of the mind for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, we're seeing majority of these alts from the top of March still 70-80% down,
Still, huh?
entire net worth down 70-80%, which it sucks, but I think that yeah, this is 70% and it's performing well today. I think we'll see some action, but not anything super crazy. Of course, I think that, we'll get past these March highs. Um, or, maybe we won't, who knows, but uh, in my opinion, it's we'll have an alt season. We just got to keep our mind open on when to sell.
Yeah, we never had not had an alt season for sure, like a true one.
All
The one
right.
that we experienced this year was kind of a early one, but not
Yeah.
not a real one, as they say. Not
All
when
right.
Bitcoin dominance is going up, when it's actually going down.
All right. Yeah. Let's check that.
Yeah, we could check that now.
So yeah. Wow. It just.
Yeah, I
I mean,
remember
it
looking
looks
at
like one
this
of
at
these.
50.
It looks like one of these charts, bro, where you look at it and it's like, bro, it needs a correction, dude. Like it looks crazy. Like, wow, look at this right here.
Well,
Um,
it's at that pivot section right there, if you see it.
yeah,
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 like right there, right before it crashed heavy. Like if you see
right
that
here.
line, yeah, it's right at that mark again. So it's a perfect time. So
Wow,
hopefully any day now.
73%. Yeah. I mean, bro, if we hit 73% again, it's like even here, like 72% is crazy. Wow. Look at this, almost
Oh
100%.
yeah, that was like way back then. Only
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
five
When like
alts.
altcoins weren't even a thing.
Yeah, so maybe
Um,
not look there, but yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah. That right here, 70 range is like even like 65%, dude. I think you should be looking like like position, not financial advice, just position yourself heavy because 65 to 70% anywhere in this area, like kind of due for a drawdown. Like you see anywhere in this area, you see it drop down a lot. Anywhere in this area, you see more majority of the downside, you
right.
know? So,
So we just entered it. We could definitely still go up, but yeah,
yep,
I think we could technically now go down anytime now, but
right. Because if you see anything in the 50 and 60 range right here, it's like you see more upside.
not yet.
Then like you see here, 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 and then we just blast off. And then after you get up this level, it's like crash, 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 and then just completely crash. And then they begin their alt season where it
Yep.
was like,
Just
wow,
keep going
dude,
down for
right here,
like months and
40%.
months.
Yeah. So yeah, maybe we'll end around here like 50% instead of like flat 40 like it happened, or maybe we do, who knows, but maybe a 50%, maybe like 45% the lowest, I think, and then that'll be our alt season. So, yeah, a lot of volatility this week is going to be coming regardless of who wins. I think that we crash short term. We have drawdown short term no matter who wins. I think it'll be very chaotic this week, and maybe I'll do a video next week on the updated prices of all these cryptos to see the damage, or maybe we sin. Who knows? I don't know. But yeah, that's basically all I had for today. I don't know if you wanted to add anything.
Yeah, definitely do a video next week. I'll watch it. Let's see. I'll pull up my chart.
107.
All right.
I'll go
Let
ahead
me
and
know
watch
when
your
you
screen now.
see.
All right, perfect. I'm in there.
All right. So, yeah, as we see Bitcoin dominance, we already went over this. But yeah, I mean, we actually hit 60. I remember like looking at 50s and it's like, can we hit it to 60? Because we're a long way from there. And we just kept on going up for basically all
Yep.
year. So, hindsight, I'm definitely going to be more Bitcoin heavy next cycle. And that's the
Right.
goal for me anyway, just outperform, hopefully, with alts to get more Bitcoin. But yeah, I feel like a lot of people forget that.
Wait, say that again. Sorry.
I'm basically trying to get a Bitcoin bag for long
Right.
term. That's how I weigh my like long term net
Right.
worth. I mean, as well as like
Right.
houses and stuff. But as far as crypto is concerned, yeah, get more Bitcoin as time goes on, using altcoins to get that increase my Bitcoin bag because Bitcoin's not going anywhere.
Right.
It's essentially the S&P of crypto, and I mean it's the first crypto. So anyway, that's the fundamental on it. So yeah, next cycle I'll be definitely more Bitcoin heavy,
Yeah.
especially until alt season.
Yeah. Do you see yourself? Yeah. I think we'll play it as smart money next cycle, where you're just only in Bitcoin, take profits, shove a little bit in altcoins, see what you can make extra. So.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Bitcoin goes up first, and then it trickles down. So instead of losing your
Right.
money on altcoins or potentially losing your money,
Right.
you could right curve it or left curve it and just stick in Bitcoin. You don't have to worry too much about the fluctuations. Of course, I'll have some alts, but not to the point where I'm feeling bad if I look at my portfolio or anything,
Right.
because I'll be up because Bitcoin just goes up, man. Look at this. Like if I put this
Yeah.
on the macro, do
Bitcoin
you
maxis are not
see?
down.
This is the outset to be in, man.
Yeah.
Of course, you don't get as much percentages, but it is
Right.
for sure percentages, though. That's what people don't realize.
Yeah, I think the smart thing that I should have done, which I could have owned a whole Bitcoin, dude. I should have, as soon as I got that March pump, take it out, buy a whole Bitcoin, and then around this time before election, shove some into alts.
Right. When Bitcoin enters like 60, let's say,
Right.
is
Mm-hmm.
what we're talking about here. Because this is the level that it just basically free falls.
Right.
Anywhere in here, like
Mm-hmm.
you said.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yep.
and even looking at ETH BTC, like until we get confirmation, like higher lows, like say like this, right? Like you finally get a higher low,
Right.
then that's your confirmation. But we never had that. We just had basically just
Right.
down. Like there's nothing to confirm. You're just going with
Right.
speculation at that point with alts. So we're still in that point basically because we do not have any sort of pump or higher low.
Right.
I drew this last time. I guess I'll just start with this for my analysis
Mm-hmm.
since we touched on it last time. The point of action line, I called it. In hindsight, it should be more of a box, like a zone, because I never go with just one line.
Mm.
That's actually better. And we're still in it. So it's not even holding so far. So far, it's not. So I should probably change this from green to red. But let's pull up the all these are lagging indicators as far as RSI, so it's not as important as just watching the candles, right?
All right.
And on the weekly, which is a macro time frame, it's pushing on all-time fresh lows on the RSI.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's technically a little
Oof.
higher than this,
Yikes.
but it's like a higher low potentially. So
Right.
hopefully we'll get that balance, but we haven't gotten it yet. Once we
Right.
get it, we get it. Until then, it's just speculation. Technically, this chart's saying, because it's ETH to BTC, it's saying BTC is a better hold
Right.
and has been since basically like, except for this like
Forever.
what 3 month time frame. Yeah, basically for
Hmm.
like the whole year. Yeah, 2021. So it's like 3 years.
Right.
It's been going down. So 100 and 300 days basically. That's like 4 years.
Wow. Yes.
So anyway, DXY. Let's look at that real quick. Okay, looks like every time we are breaking a, what is it, like a 3 month uptrend since September 24. Yeah, it's like a 1 month uptrend. We're finally breaking out of it, but this is kind of like short term. But it does look like we are falling.
Yeah.
There's no buyback on the DXY, so it looks like we could at least go down to here, the 100 mark, and bounce from that
Hmm.
psychological low. That's about a, in total, I think it's a 4%. Yeah, 4%.
Yeah. Four
And then if
percent,
we look
almost
at the
5.
March, which is right here, I think. Where's the March? Yeah, April. From the April high that we had our mini alt season, it went down 6%.
Mm.
So if it goes down, I mean, I'm hoping this time that, the 100 won't serve as a support, but it's
Right.
gonna just break this time because how late we are into the cycle.
Mm.
Of course, we won't know until we get there. Instead of hoping, we just have to confirm. But if it does break, I mean, we've gone as low as like 90, and this was last cycle. So we have a lot of room to drop. That's potentially like 10 to 15%. So that's going to give us our alt season. That's going to be
Right.
even bigger than it was that we experienced earlier this year.
Yeah.
So I'll leave this here. This is kind of like the last point of test. But it looks like we are going to test it
Yeah.
now.
Hopefully we do.
Yeah, hopefully we do. I think so. I mean, we're
Yeah.
so late in the cycle now. And if I pull up the fib, we just hit the golden pocket, and that's perfect time to correct.
Hmm.
So
Yeah. A lot of people are
typically you go
saying,
to the
we.
golden pocket, then you'll go retest it, and if it doesn't hold, then it'll go down.
Oh yeah. Hopefully as low as possible.
Yeah, as low as possible. We'll see as we get there, but
Yeah.
I mean, usually people do, and what I do is I look at the next horizontal trading range, which we have a bunch of trading here, right?
Hmm.
Like a couple months worth here. So that's worth entertaining for our first low. We could bounce from there. But we'll see
Right.
once we break first. First we have to break. But yeah, I do think we're going to at least 100 next. So that's 4%, which is still pretty good on Bitcoin's price and just risk on assets. Because if you're
Right.
on the DXY, that means you're holding, right? And you're not on risk on, you're risk off. So going down means you're going risk off. Or risk on, sorry. You're getting
Right.
speculative, you're getting into the market. People are getting into the market. New participants, the hype, stuff like that.
Yep.
Yeah. So I'm looking at the Bitcoin chart that we went over last time. Okay, here we were. And we did this last time. and we kind of related it to a tweet by 100xgk. I think that's how you pronounce it. And yeah, we basically got that higher low, but we got that pivot low, higher high, higher low. We got kind of like an indecision here, but it was a higher low. And that was compared to that last fractal, which was like last cycle. The exact same, right there.
Yep.
I don't know if you remember that, but the exact
Right
same
before we
move
sent.
right before we sent. And if we go back to where we are now, it actually behaved just like what we thought. Looks like here, yeah, we did early October. We must have been like October 3rd or something. So
Yeah.
it played it exactly how I drew it.
Right.
I mean, just as a,
Extend that. Yep.
yeah, so we're still making higher highs, higher lows on Bitcoin. So if we're in Bitcoin, obviously we'd have a much better portfolio, but the market is going higher
Yep.
on this macro time frame on Bitcoin. Bitcoin rules the market. So, and I think you had it too. You had like maybe this going on,
Yeah, I did.
but yeah, we retested it right there, and so far it's holding. That's something that I was looking at too, like way back here, I think. Because if you just even, there's multiple ways you could do it. Like you could do it from here. We retested it right there. But if you keep on just extending it, like we just keep on passing it, like right there even, and that's number 2. I do another one here, that's technically number 3. So there's like 3 or 4 ways you can kind of do it, how conservative you are. But we are passing it each time. And let me just take away these drawings to look at it in a more macro time frame. I put it the monthly chart or the 2 monthly chart. We've had our highest 2 monthly candle ever in the history of Bitcoin. So that is mega bullish. That's even breaking previous cycle closure.
Okay, I see that.
Yeah. So we're not pumping, but I mean, we just had this
Still a
close
good
like
sign.
3 days ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And we have elections uncertainty. So hopefully by this week or next week, yeah, after some time, once it sits in people's minds that we have this certain president, whether it be Kamala or Trump, but the signs are showing we are in a uptrend.
Yeah, that looks pretty healthy.
Yeah, even on the 2 week, like look at how we closed here right at 69K. That's above July. That's already like 3 months worth. Yeah, that's 3 months.
Yeah.
And then we close over this high. We didn't close over on the March, but we did on even a bigger time frame, which is the 2 month. So that's even priority right there. So yeah, so we're looking good on Bitcoin.
Yep. And it's barely at the start of November, so like I said, it usually moves aggressively on November. Hopefully we see that on the upside.
Right. So the chart was, I think it was, what was it? I'll try to find it, but I think I got it saved here. Historical months. Okay, this is the one that people use, and myself included. This goes
Says your
up
stream is
to,
paused.
stream is paused. Okay, my bad. Let's see. Let me restart it.
There it goes. Perfect.
Okay, so October typically is a 30% average. We had a 12%, so that was like a third of it. But November is actually the biggest that we have, as well as December being a good one as well.
All right.
So if we have, I mean, yeah, And you mentioned since we're already high up, we may not get that full 40%. But even if we get a third of it, just like how we did with October being, oh, it was 11%. So it was still bullish. Yeah, about a third of what we get on average. So if we get a third on average of 40%, that is like what, 13%?
Yeah.
13% from,
What does that put us at, around 80, 90K?
that'll get exactly at 80K if we get,
Ooh.
yeah.
Hmm.
So the mania should start to build up by then. I wouldn't say it's mania at 80. I would say more like 90 to 100, but definitely they're going to start turning on the advertisements on the news,
Oh
and
yeah.
people are going to start noticing again. It takes a while for people to get excited. It's not like you see it one time and it's like, wow, let me go buy now. You have to, like, they typically build it up within weeks and months, right? Like, oh,
Right.
Bitcoin is 60. Oh, now it's 80. Will it ever hit 100? And then once it's
You're
at
right.
90, it's like, wow, it's really going to do it, isn't it? And, so it takes time for people to FOMO. It's not like just one day after the next. So
Right. Got to keep them locked in.
you got to keep them entertained and watching, yeah, locked in.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of BlackRock commercials and Grayscale commercials about the Bitcoin ETF. I've never seen them aired, so maybe they're saving them for end of the year, and who knows? Maybe they're playing it perfect the way they're doing it. I know that Ansem is trying to do the Doge or dog with hat sphere in Las Vegas. I don't think that that's a thing anymore. I'm pretty sure he kind of did some weird stuff with him, so we'll definitely be hearing about crypto the rest of the year and probably Q1 2025.
Yeah, I mean, they do it best. These people that run the world, they sure know how to orchestrate the masses.
Yep.
They're experts. They are, I mean, they've been doing it from basically the beginning of time, from my knowledge.
Right. Which is how they got where they are at.
Right. They probably have more advanced technologies than, this chat GPT thing that,
Oh
we
yeah.
have. So, this is a tweet from 100xgk. I'm pretty much done with my own analysis. I mean, I could go through specific alts, but I mean, right now we already kind of went through the ETH BTC. We're all kind of going down on
Yeah.
alts. So,
Uh, I think you share your screen for like the whole screen because I can't see the tweet unless you're just reading it.
okay. I may have just. Oh, that's why it stopped that first time. I was maybe just sharing one specific tab and not my actual screen.
All
This
right.
should work. Sorry about that.
Yeah, that's good.
All right, so I'll just go with some quality tweets that I have found. Again, this is
Hmm.
from the same guy. He's only had like 3,000 followers, but he's been doing some killer charts. So yeah, shout out again, 100xgk. He's putting a fractal, intermarket fractal between the SPX and total 3. And this was actually on the tweet that we did last time that we were following.
All right.
It was just on a separate picture because we were following this one, right? And
Yeah.
this is what I
Yeah.
just labeled right now.
Hmm.
And we just had exactly what was the likely scenario, fractal wise. And as you see here, I'll just stick with this certain picture right now since we're already on it. Elections right here. So we're basically, yeah, we're on this line today. So we should be, I mean, according to 2024 or 2020, we went straight up. That was just one cycle.
Right.
And I have a tweet that I'll look at after that to kind of give another scenario. But the other picture on this tweet was actually the SPX in total 3. And at the time we were right here on October, about 600 billion. Now this is today, November. we followed that fractal actually exactly how it was. So it shows like there's so many confluences with SPX and total 3. I'm probably going to be using it for the entire going forward
Right.
until the fractal doesn't work anymore. But we're on this orange box, and afterwards we do pump. So this is total 3 is basically your shitcoin market. Basically no Bitcoin,
Yeah.
no Ethereum. Basically all is speculative, times 10
Alts.
alts.
Right.
Yeah, just pure alts. Although I feel like Solana should be excluded here too. But anyway, it's your
Right.
alts, right? So according to this fractal, we're gonna move up into this second dot, which is like right here at 700 billion approximately. Probably correct, and retest these highs at like 600. So according to this, we should be pumping for the next like say month, 2 months, and then we'll have like our mid-cycle correction again. But it'll be
Right.
quick this time because you see like from April to
Till
basically
now.
mid-April now. Yeah, there's like a year of consolidation. This is like what, maybe 2 months.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a
Yeah.
fractal, right? You don't want to trust everything on a fractal, but it shouldn't rhyme if there's enough confluences and if it matches. So far it's been matching. So yeah, a couple months, maybe like what, 2 months of correction, and
Right.
then so we'll see. But I labeled it here. This is exactly how his chart was.
Okay.
This is at 700 billion mark. We should move up into it, and then retest these highs, and then from there go to all-time highs fairly shortly after that. But that is more alts right now. So once we have more confirmation that alts will move, like total 3 pumping or Bitcoin dominance dropping or ETH BTC pumping, it's just a fractal right now.
Right.
And so this is the last quality tweet that I have for today. So this tweet is basically just showing the relation with elections and the halving. In the beginning, in 2012, the elections were before the halving, but you can see the relation with the elections. Basically, we move right after the elections or shortly after. As you see here, we dropped down in 2012,